Hi everybody, Kirsten Lovett here. I hope you can hear me and see me. Just wanted to say hello to everyone and wish everyone happy wellness and good health. And I just thought today I'd talk a little bit about my rattle process. Let me get a little bit closer to the camera here. So I'll try and respond to your comments, but if I don't get to them, I will definitely get to them afterwards. And hi, Jennifer. So basically, let me just call on a little bit of help here first. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me and see me. And what I'm going to talk a little bit about today, which, I'm going to see how far I get with it, but I'm just going to talk to you about a little bit about some of the rattling, I don't know if you want to call them techniques, but methods, I suppose, is a way to call them, that I was shown through, I believe, a combination of help with the medicine bundle, because my rattle sits fairly close to the medicine bundle, the Misa. I'm sure there's some other helping spirits, but all of this information, or at least 90% of it, is, majority of it is from the spirits, if you will. So it's, maybe it differs from what you do, but if it's helpful, great. And just, there's some things that might be similar, some things might not be similar. Oh, by the way, I have some ash. It's incense ash, if you're wondering what that is. So this is my rattle, and to start off, one of the things is, and I actually hadn't been, this is probably the one thing that I heard from an actual teacher that I think is very helpful, that I wanted to make sure I remembered to do today before I even started doing anything, is, and I think you can apply this to any tradition, no matter what you're doing, whatever, throughout the globe, is whatever medicine, for lack of a better word, objects, I don't like to use that word, but you know what I mean, whatever medicine objects, helpers, you're using in a, of course, respectful way, but I'm just going to use that word use, in a healthy way. You want to thank the spirits that made that, and this is from, an actual teacher. So, like, for example, I would maybe say before I started rattling, of course, this is something that I hadn't been doing before, so it's still new to me. I might say, I want to thank the animal spirits that made you. I want to thank the plant spirits that made you. I want to thank the humans that made you, and the shamanic spirits, and the holy spirits, and the sacred beings that made you. I thank you for your wisdom. I thank you for your healing. I thank you for your protection. So you might, because mine has four four colors, red, white, yellow, and blue. That's why you might see me go 4 times. That was something that, because of the shapes on the, because I have no idea what rattle this is from. I have no idea what tradition it's from. I could guess. I'm sure you could guess too. But I was told to go ahead and blow, because you can see the 4 colors, you know, both kind of like a quadrant, you know. So like if you're thinking XY axis, you know, left, right side, lower left, lower right side. And that's probably, I'm sure that's probably a directional kind of thing. But it could probably mean some other stuff. But that's what they told me to do. And then to kind of flip it and do that like 4 times. And if you have a rattle that's like totally different from this, you might feel compelled to like do a slightly different kind of blowing. But I get the feeling that some kind of blowing of your breath, and it doesn't have to be as, you know, as charged up as mine is right now. It could be very gentle. It could be, you know, but I've just had some coffee, so I'm a little bit, you know, it's a little bit over caffeinated. So, but you know, it's going to depend on what you feel compelled to do. But I think some kind of breath, saying kind of, I thank you. And then the other thing they showed me was to kind of do a sweeping motion downwards, like that. You know, I have to do it without hurting my neck, but you know, kind of like you could raise this up instead of having to move your neck. You just do, and you'll notice I'm kind of twirling it so I'm getting a side, then another, you know, another side, then another side, then I'm just rotating it, so I'm getting the sides and the front and the back, basically. So you're just kind of like prepping it, kind of like you would with anything else that you work with, kind of activating the spirit and thanking it, and trying to kind of, sometimes they'll have me blow you can see there's little feathers here, so. And one of the things I always forget to do, and they have to tell me this, they're like, you know, you need to smudge that, is if you have some mugwort or sage, let me see if I can get a little piece going here so you can kind of see. I'm sure you guys who work with crystals and rocks, a lot of you already kind of have your own way of like, you know, putting your, lighting up some sage or lighting up some mugwort and like putting your crystal or rock or, you know, tourmaline or whatever it is, and just letting kind of, okay, that didn't work out very well, letting the smoke kind of go wherever it needs to go. But let me just see if I can show this in front of the camera. It's a little bit tricky with a match here. All right, you can, I don't know if you can see, okay, there. You can see kind of, if I had a better smoke angle, but you can imagine if you had some smoke coming up from this, it would kind of go where it needs to go, just like you would with a rock. If you would see the smoke kind of envelop the rock or the crystal or the stone that you're using. And I'll try that again another time when I have a slightly better stick there, but I think you get the picture. So step 1, we take our rattle and, you know, we just say thank you for the animal, plant spirits and the human spirits. If you know, maybe if you made it yourself or you know somebody who made it for you, and the shamanic spirits or any other, you know, spiritual beings or shamanic beings, sacred beings is a good way to kind of envelop everything. That way you're getting everybody in there. And you're just saying thanks. And then, you know, you're doing some kind of activation. So that's step 2, is the activation. And then this is where it gets kind of open-ended. It depends on what you're looking to do. Like a lot of times, for me, rattling can be employed in a couple different areas. But like, I think I first came to the rattle kind of as a means to do a couple things. But I think since I'm always kind of trying to ward off negative energy, you could just start off with kind of feeling like, okay, maybe I didn't have a good night last night. I woke up this morning feeling kind of weird, and I'm going to ask the rattle for some help in terms of like how it's going to maybe help my energy field feel more clear and protected. Maybe it'll help me figure out where I don't want to say an intrusion, but maybe something kind of like if you picture like a dust bunny or a something that's maybe just kind of extraneous material that's in your field that doesn't need to be there, you know. It might not be anything like, specific, but just, just little things that aren't supposed to be there, so that you can have a more, especially this is very helpful, especially if you already know you're empathic, you already know, you're psychic, you already know, or you're already working with, shamanic principles. But even if you're new to it, I think this is a great way to get into like figuring out what's going on with your energy body. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you different things that I do. The first thing that they showed me is, let's say you're standing up. You might want to do, and I'm going to show this as if it's like, I'm going to reach my arms up so that you can kind of see what's going on. But I remember one of the first things they told me is to rattle at the ground, right? So maybe down between your feet, and maybe up at the sky. And sometimes you might want to do it a couple times. Of course, I'm sitting, so you'll see me bend over. You can do it standing, obviously. So that's, whatever you want to do. And then, depending on how you feel about this, if you're going to, try and do some kind of clearing of energy for yourself, especially, you might want to just do the 4 directions. And then we'll probably do them again at the end when we're done. So we do that. And then it changes every time, but there's certain exercises that they've shown me that are helpful. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you this one first. So you might just start kind of a steady rattle. And a really good one, and I'll try and make sure you can see this, but is an up and down motion. So I'm rattling at the bottom now, then I'm going up, then I'm going down, and of course you want to stay straight. So you can see where I'm rattling maybe down towards my solar plexus or my stomach and up, so down. And then once you maybe do that like 10 times with your right hand, and it doesn't have to be super fast. I'm just going a little bit faster. It can be really slow if you want. But I think what this does is get the energy fields kind of moving. Like those of you who know, like, chi and all that stuff, you can kind of see how this is helping to flow bottom to top, top to bottom. That's just my theory over what it's doing. And then if you want to kind of, do a little bit more of that, you can go down, up, and then start kind of dialing out towards your right or left, and then come back, almost like your wingspan, if you will, up and down, up and down. So you can see what I'm doing, and then switch, and then I'm going out this way, left, up and down, come back, like that. So you're kind of working your way out and then working your way back in, right? So, and then, just kind of keep the flow going. So that what this does is kind of like warming your muscles up a little bit. I'm sure it's literally warming your muscles up, but it's warming up the channels too, I think. Then you can also do, there's a couple things you can do. I'm going to show you over the head first. So, I don't know let me see if you can see this. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to try and do this so you can see every part of it. So, It's going to be opposite on my camera here, but you're basically just going over your head like this as many times as you want, maybe say like a minimum of 4 times. Then what you're going to do is you're going to wrap around your shoulder and then sweep. So let me show you that again. So just so you know, you're going up like this, and you can go as far out as you want. You can kind of do like a halo, or not a halo, but you know, a semicircle over your head, like that. Then you're gonna wrap around your shoulder, right? And then sweep. So I'll show this to you again. Yeah. Around the shoulder, and then sweep it down, right? And then we go, you guessed it, the other way. Let me do this so you can see. Yeah. Wrap around, sweep. And then just do as many of those as you feel comfortable. Like even just doing that now, I feel better. I'm not sure what that is, but I think it has something to do with the shoulder blades, and just there must be some kind of, and it'll depend on your body. You'll notice your body has different parts that might be, for some people it'll be that area will help them. Another group of people it'll be their back. Another group of people it might be their stomach or their knees or whatever. Another thing I like to do, and this is kind of funny because I think I ended up calling this the dot matrix. Those of you who are old enough to remember what a dot matrix printer is, you know how like it would go like this, left to right, left to right, left to right, like, and back, you know, like that. So this is something you can do down your back if you can try to do that. You, in addition to going straight down the back, like just straight down like this, just rattling, and then down the middle of your back. And of course you'd want to be, you know, standing up preferably. It's a little bit easier, I think, than sitting down, but you can still do it sitting down. There's another one you can do too if you feel like you want to get behind your back and like really, you know, do some clearing there, is you can go straight down to your neck and then just kind of turn around and like put your rattle behind your back with your arm. You can, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going like this, basically. And then I'm gonna flip what's going on in front, because we'll do it in front anyway. But pretend I've got my arm behind my back and I'm doing this in my back. You just kind of go across like a dot matrix printer. And you just kind of go like that. And then I'm just being reminded now of another one you can do, since we're in that direction anyway. Of course, you would be doing that in your back. Once you get done with your back, you do it in your front, like I just did. And then you could do under your arms and just switch off hands. So I'm just kind of going around my circumference here and switching off hands and coming around here, whatever's easiest for you. Then we get to our legs. Of course, it's going to be hard for me to show you that but all I'm doing with the legs really is just a sweeping motion downwards. And you can you know, put your leg up, prop your leg up, if you can do this okay, you know, if it's not uncomfortable or anything like that. But like you could put your right leg on top of your left leg, kind of like if you were going to do that. And if you wanted to, you could just like take your rattle and just kind of sweep downwards, kind of like we did with our arms. Well, we could just do that with our legs too. And then the key thing with the legs though, that I didn't really show with my arms, is pretend this is my leg, right? So I'm sweeping down, and this is my foot, right? And I'm sweeping down. You'll want to get the bottoms of your feet, because energy goes through there too, right? So, you know, ideally you want to have your shoes off when you do your legs. You know, take your shoes and socks off. Well, I don't know. I don't know if socks matter, but okay, it does matter. Take off your socks. Okay. So you'll want to like this is your leg, pretend, okay? And you'll want to kind of sweep downwards. If you wanted, you could do a circular motion around it, but I wouldn't start off doing that. I would start off doing, if you're new to this, just do the sweeping motion down the leg. And then when you get to the toes, you know, and the feet, here's the bottom of your foot, basically. Just kind of go like that underneath the bottom of your feet. You know, like that. And that's a good way to do that. Oh, let me show you one more that's actually really helped me. This is helpful if you feel like I think this is helpful for clairaudient people, but I think it also maybe helps a little bit physically with this area around here. Like, you know, maybe with your neck and your, you know, I don't know. I have a theory about that, but anyway. So here's how it goes. So you start up at the top, right? You're going to come down. I'm not going to rattle so you can hear better. You're going to come down and then do kind of a spiral around your ear that gets smaller, right? And then go behind you and go sweep down the leg, whichever leg you want. Doesn't matter. Probably would work better if you go down the opposite leg. So if you start on this side, you would want to sweep it down the opposite leg. And then let me show it to you once so you can see this. So I'm going to go down, start at the top, downwards, and then right when you get to the top of your head, kind of just circle around like a spiral. You see, I get smaller as I get closer to the ear, kind of like the ear canal, right? And then just sweep it down the back, and if you're standing, it's better. And then just down the back of your leg of the opposite leg. I'm going to try it once with the other side. So down from the top, and I stop at the head, and I go around the ear, and then go back, and you'll have to switch hands, unless you're magically gifted in that area, and sweep down the opposite leg. And you can do these as many times as you want. You can do them once, you can do them more times. But what I would encourage you to do, though, is when you start these practices, try to, like, especially when you first start to ask the rattle, you know, its permission. Thank you for, you know, the animal spirits and the plant spirits that made you, and the sacred spirits that made you. And then maybe throughout the process, you might find that the rattle spirit will start talking to you and saying, you know, well, no, do this now, you know, try this direction, try that direction, so that you'll be able to kind of, I mean, some people, it, you know, might happen right away. Other people, it might take a little bit longer, but I know that sound, we all know that sound clears negativity, because we know this, Tibetan bowls, the whole bit, you know, rattles, but I think there's something special about a rattle too that helps the person to go into the altered states of consciousness so that they can, you know, access these, maybe I'll use the word higher frequencies, you know, that we associate with shamanic beings anyway. And like, for example, just me rattling helps me to be able to communicate better to you guys, because sometimes sometimes things that are in, I don't know if you're like this, but sometimes things that are in our heads, sometimes we need some kind of visceral action to get things kind of moving so that we can actually explain what it is we're doing, you know. So especially for this kind of work, whether it's, you know, you could be going to the rattle because you're empathic. You could be like completely uninterested in shamanism. I know everyone here is interested in it, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But let's pretend, you know, you could be completely uninterested in shamanism, go to your rattle, do what I was telling you about, and just feel better. that's like a bare minimum of what you could get out of this. Then as you get more experienced and more developed and use it more often, and develop a relationship with it more often, you'll get to the point where you know, things become a little more complex and in a good way, and you'll start to grow and really understand your energy body better. So that's kind of like a beginning process that I just wanted to go over. I probably missed a couple things, but I really appreciate. Hi, Christina. I really appreciate Jennifer and Christina. Thank you. And if you guys have any questions, or I mean, there's things that I'm probably forgetting that I could probably talk about at another time. I'm hoping you were able to see some of what I was doing. But if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. And everyone, please stay safe. And thank you for all of your support.